Dr. Grier just spoke to the HAR Board of Directors with some very enlightening information. Pleasure to have you here and an honor to have you as well.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed our lunch and meeting today, and it's good to be with you.
Why don't you give us kind of an overview of where the district stands today?
Well, we're very proud of the progress we've made in the last 2 years. Our dropout rate is at the all-time district low, and that's for all subgroups of students. That's for our Hispanic students, our African American, our Anglo, and our Asian students. And our graduation rate is at the all-time district high. And if you look at our social studies, our math, and our science scores, we've made a lot of progress. They're also up at all-time district highs. Our reading scores are flat all the way back to 2004, 2005. We have 203,000 students. About 70,000 of those students do not read on grade level. And that's really a focus of ours this year is literacy. The Houston Livestock and Rodeo Show just gave us a $500,000 grant that we're going to use to help us develop a new literacy program and take a really hard look at why so many of our children are struggling to read.
Let's take a look at some of the legislative initiatives. This last session was somewhat rough for public education. How is HISD responding to these challenges that lie ahead?
The state cut about $78 million out of our school district funds. Over the last 2 years, we've eliminated about 700 central office positions, trying to keep those cuts as far away from the classroom as we can. But last year, we lost about 300 teaching positions, and that's almost one teacher per school in HISD. It's tough. It's hit us all hard. We've seen classes with more students in those classes, and it's something that we worry about. We don't want to see Texas become the state who spends the least per child on education in the country, and we're getting close to talking California, Mississippi kinds of language, and that's not good for the future of Texas.
Now, in light of this, how do you see the district faring in the next couple of years ahead till the next session? You mentioned the funding that's coming from the rodeo specifically for this literacy initiative,
right.
But in general, what do you see lying ahead?
Well, we've raised over $145 million from outside sources to try to help us in particular, focus on particular areas of need in the district. But again, next year we're looking at $40 to $60 million of cuts from the state again. There's a new lawsuit where many of the school districts in the state have come together and are suing the legislature. And it would not surprise me to see our Board of Education join that suit. They've not made that decision as of yet, but something has to be done. It's just, we just cannot neglect our children's education because, quite frankly, if we do, it's going to impact the quality of life right here in Houston, and we can't afford that.
Let's take a look at you personally. You came aboard in 2009, so you've been here just about 2 years.
Yes.
As you look over that tenure, what stands out as perhaps your greatest achievement in that time so far?
Well, we're proud of of course, the achievement that we've made with our test scores and our graduation dropout rate. But I'm very, very pleased with a new program that we've started here at HISD, and we've been able to do that with the help of the John and Laura Arnold Foundation, who gave us a $6 million grant to really look at our human capital. Last year, we began the process of reorganizing and redesigning how we recruit teachers, how we train teachers, how we assign teachers, how we pay teachers, how we evaluate teachers. We've retained 92% of our top performing teachers from a year ago, and we've been able to exit out 55% of our lowest performing teachers. Putting a quality teacher in every classroom, having a great principal in every school is really the initiative that we have district-wide that will pay long-term and even immediate-term benefits to this organization.
How do you regard the relationship between public education and the real estate industry?
It's a key relationship, and it's very important. And I think it's a relationship that depends heavily on clear, transparent communication so that you know which schools are really doing a good job. I used to, when I thought about realtors, I used to think, are you really selling homes or are you selling schools? Because I can tell you, if you've got a great school in a neighborhood, it's much easier to sell homes in that neighborhood than if you've got a failing or a low-performing school. It's tough. And so we have to be strong partners, and we have to work. And it's one thing that I'd like to challenge the Houston Realtors Association is to get more involved in neighborhood schools, to adopt a school, have agents come into those schools and read to children one day a week or as much as their schedule would allow. It's important of having one adult outside the family in a child's life can make a meaningful difference. And so we've got a good relationship with our realtors, and we want to see that grow and develop to even a stronger relationship.
You made a point in your presentation that many realtors, working the beat, as it were, today, are still walking around with the same perceptions of a particular school that perhaps was valid, 20 or 30 years ago, and in fact, that school may be of a completely different caliber today.
That's right, and that's why it's important to know the facts. And we've got a good website that realtors can go to and get a lot of information. They need to be educated about the schools in an area. And we've done a really good job with this, so it's a quick study. If you've got a home that you've just listed, you can go to our website. You can download information at a snap of a finger that will show you how well that school's doing academically. And it'll also allow you to compare and contrast that school with other schools in that vicinity or other schools in the district as a whole. We also are open to talk with realtors. I really enjoyed my time today, and I hope I get to come back. And I have other people on my staff that would be glad to come and talk with the group and also be available for resources for any realtor that really has questions or wants more information.
Well, this is Dr. Terry Grier with the HISD. He's the school superintendent. Thank you so much for joining us here at our HIRTV studios, and thank you for watching.